And good afternoon. Peace and grace to all. Thank you for once again joining me here, Rachelle Wilson, the mother and founder and CEO of Make Some Intelligent Noise, Justice and Human Rights Movement. I'm here today broadcasting from WHGE 95.3 FM, as well as my Facebook, and we are podcasting from Anchor to every podcasting platform in the world. And I have a very special guest with me tonight. We're going to get right into it. In just a few minutes, I want to say thank you to everyone. I appreciate you tuning in and being a part of today's conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to my dear friend from way back, as well as from even just 5 minutes ago. My people, Timeless Thomas. Some of you may know him as Big Deezy.
That's right.
That's right.
Thank you,
and
Sister
yes, we have so much to get into, but Timeless, I've got to start this podcast and radio and Facebook show off with an absolute Donald Trump karmic message. Ooh. So Donald Trump has a debate with Biden on Tuesday.
Okay.
And says some really painful and hurtful things. I didn't think it was very nice for him to say such mean things about his son, about Biden's son. And as a result of the mean and nasty things that he said, now he has the corona. The Rona, allegedly, right? Allegedly.
Allegedly is a good word.
Allegedly, because I don't really think he has it.
Not at all.
I think it's all a ploy to either get empathy from the American voters or because they want to push the agenda for the vaccine. All of a sudden, this miraculous vaccine will appear and Donald Trump will be miraculously saved, and then it will be forced, mandatory for the rest of America to take the vaccine. Thoughts?
Well, as always, I'm going to agree to disagree. No, seriously, because Trump caught the coronavirus at 3 o'clock, and by 5 o'clock he had almost got rid of it. So we know that it was definitely some type of ploy. Of course, it's press, for voting. It's election season, and these things that he's doing to create, I'm going to say, focus. These things that he's saying about Biden. You got to understand that election time, if you don't do something heroic or stupendous or ridiculous or something way out there, then you're just going to be a regular person. So you have to do something to put the focus on. You have to do something dumb like go bail the guy out that shot 2 protesters.
I am
you gotta make some noise.
Pissed off about that. He bailed out Rittenhouse from Kenosha, the white teenager, 17-year-old white teen, who, if I'm not mistaken, he shot and maybe killed 2 of the protesters. Allegedly, Donald Trump got him out of an incarcerated situation or got him off bail or whatever, saying, well, that he didn't deserve to be incarcerated because he was there as a good citizen only to protect the stores and businesses from the protesters. And I say that's absolute hogwash.
Well,
it's hogwash.
If it was in fact, and I agree with you, that's a bunch of baloney, and I ain't talking about beef baloney, nor turkey baloney, that's pork baloney.
That's pork baloney.
But if it was the first time in history, that we were hoodwinked and bamboozled by the Caucasian man, that would be a different story. We're expecting when, those type of people get in trouble for their people to come and do the complexion connection, we're expecting for them to pull rank and use their privilege and bail them out of situations. So it's really no big whoop to do to me, per se. Is it ignorant? Is it messed up? Of course it is. But again, everybody knows that I am a Trump supporter.
Oh my God! No, I love you so much.
I really am. And this time, the last time we were together, we talked about it, and it was casually. But this time, I dug up a lot of facts. And you guys are going to get educated. This is the political hour, right?
The political power hour is on Wednesday nights.
Okay.
This is Make Some Intelligent Noise, Justice and Human Rights Movement.
Right. It's all connected
I mean, there's no way that you can do a criminal justice and prison reform movement without politics being involved, you know. So yeah, tell me what you got. I've got something for you too.
Okay,
some new bills are in legislation for reform.
Right. Well, I got everything. You tell me what you got, and let's just build off of that. What's going on with you?
Okay.
All right.
So allegedly here, Governor John Carney has quite a few bills that are being put on his table, on his desk, obviously. They have to finish Senate, but they have passed the House. And this is for taking the drug dealers, I hate calling them drug dealers, but call them a spade a spade.
Okay.
So taking the drug dealers and not putting as much time on them because they were in the circumference of a school or a church, recognizing here in Delaware, every other corner is a school, a church, and a liquor store. Mm-hmm. So now if you're caught selling or using narcotics or drugs
in a school zone,
a church zone, the penalty will not be as severe as it once was. Another one that I'm really excited about is that sentencing now, the sentencing guidelines are being taken. They're taking a closer look at that and giving a judge a bit more discretion so that he can, he doesn't have to give punishment out consecutively. It can be concurrently. It can be consecutive instead of concurrent. Basically putting it all into one lump sum instead of saying, well, you've got to serve 10 years for this and 3 years for that and 5 for this. Now you can just get your one sentence of maybe it might only be 9 years and then you're done.
Right. You said it right the first time. Concurrent. Yeah. We need it all together.
Yes.
Consecutive is one after the other. So look here. That's a good thing. And the judge always had that discretion. These things, they play with these legislations. They play with these things to bring them up as new later on in the election things. Just like they say, well, in the year of 2020, cars will fly. We all know cars have been flying. If they made helicopters and airplanes, they're cars that's flying. So can do stuff. Yes. So they play with the words consecutively,
words
concurrently.
Of art.
The thing about the school zone thing is because if anybody's paying attention, since the virus, since the quarantine, they're pushing the school agenda cyber. They want it online. They're trying to, kill some of this overhead. Amazon really wants to buy all these buildings and stuff up and load them up with factory merchandise, which is going to give local people some jobs and stuff. It will do good in that area. But that's why they're taking the charge off the school zone, because there ain't going to be no school zones. The school zones will be in your living room.
Pretty much.
So, how you going to catch the charge if you had drugs in your living room? So, of course they're showing you what's down the pipe. They're showing it to you right in your face. But if you don't have a Sister Ra, a Big Deezy Town and stuff, you don't have people like us to give it to the people, then they'll just wolf and sheep. They'll pull the wool right over somebody's face.
And it's so disheartening that they do play with the words of art. Yeah. Speaking to a judge's discretion, ever since my son was incarcerated, which is when I began my movement, because it never affected me until it affected my family personally.
True.
But when they talk about a judge's discretion, I realize that still does not hold judges accountable for the amount of time that they give people. I saw it with my own 2 eyes with my son. The little white boy who was there, and I say little, my son was 22. The young fella was also 22 or 23. Both of them had charges of robbery. With a person prohibited, so you're not allowed to have a gun, and they claimed that my son had a gun and this white boy had a gun. So the white boy goes before my son and he gets 7 years. My son stands up and he gets 25 years. I knew then that a judge's discretion was just that, the judge's personal discretion.
Absolutely.
So he can give however much time he wants to give to whoever. And my whole issue on that is that's not fair. Because if you give white boy 7 years and you give black boy 25 years, why? I don't understand. There's a racist problem in there somewhere.
We absolutely know that's true. Unfortunately, this is the way the system is. Life is not fair, as we all know, and life is definitely hard. And then I always ask, well, it's not even really hard. What I ask people to do is compare it to what? It is life. We know that the Caucasian man rules this lifetime. Hopefully in the next life we'll be rulers. But the judge doesn't actually have a full discretion. He still has to go within the guidelines that were allotted. See, that's why people have to know the Constitution. You have to know this is what I advise anybody who plans on doing a crime. and I don't advocate crime, but if you are going to do one, you need to look up the guidelines of what your charge carries. So you need to know if you had, X amount of grams, you're only going to get 3 years and 2 months. But if you had just one more extra gram, you could have 15 years. You need to know what's going on before you hit that other side of the fence. Because as the sister said, just as something as simple as the color of your skin could be the difference of 10 or 20 years.
Yes. Yes.
Could be the difference of a child not growing up with a father or a mother.
Yes.
Which
unfortunately is my case, because my grandson is about to turn, I believe he's about to turn 12 years old, 11 or 12. And so that means, my son has been there 11 years. He only knew Kyle for 1 year, the first year of his life. My grandson's growing up without a father, or whoever the mom is now dating. And so, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. But it's what happens in our black, brown, and golden urban communities. And so often our children do grow up without dads. Instead, they've got grandmom and maybe mom in the house, mom and grandmom, and a host of sisters, brothers, perhaps some aunties and uncles. And that's the normal family now in the brown communities. And that's not the way the divine universe created it to be. You need a mother and a father.
You need balance.
You need balance. You have to have both. But because of the Jim Crow laws and Congress and people that continue to support white supremacy and supremacist attitudes, we still have brown boys growing up without dads. And all of that does is just continue to perpetuate the cycle of prison for profit.
Yep. And what I don't understand, like you say, you were directly affected in your son, and I don't understand why there's not 1,000 mothers outside this door right now knocking on the door trying to get with you like, hey, my son's in there too. Because there's so many kids in there that are, like you say, colored children or young adults or even adults. And I know you guys have mothers. And what are your mothers doing? This sister here has a whole movement, and I don't see it moving. Like, where's everybody at? So it's not that hard. It's just as easy as saying, hey, send a message, drop an inbox, get with her. Let's get some what's called unity. Once we collaborate, we can make some moves, because a team is not comprised of one person. Each person has to play a position, and then once everybody puts their resources together, maybe we can make some change. Other than that, it's a dream.
And I think ultimately, I said the same thing last Wednesday or Sunday. Whenever I did my last post, I'm here every Wednesday and every Sunday. And I said that, with 2.3 million incarcerated people here in America, where are my 500,000 women, mothers, daughters, wives, children standing with me? I've already done the hardest part, and I've made the biggest sacrifices. I gave up my whole life just to start this movement, to the point where I have to go on Facebook at times and ask people to make donations because I am just surviving off of the grace of Almighty Divine God. Yeah. So where are the people?
The bare minimum.
Where are the people standing with me? 500,000 women, mothers, fathers, sons, I don't care. Just stand with me. The hardest part of the work is done. All I need is their physical bodies to stand with me, and let's make a statement.
Those people, unfortunately, are waiting for a mystery God to do it. They're praying to God, and they're waiting for God to fly down out the sky and make some magic. And we all know that God works through people. Yes. So that means people come on and make something happen, which I think is a really good time to introduce my book, because this is what my book is about. Yes. I just wrote a book, and it's published on Where Publishing.
I was about to get to that.
It's called 101 Things You Should Know About Jail, with a bonus chapter of 50 questions you should ask anyone returning from prison. Now, the average person comes home from jail, you probably ask them 1 or 2 things, maybe 3 or 4, maybe 10 by accident. The bonus chapter alone is worth the price of the book. So here's what the book does. It takes the reader on from the time of the crime to the back of the cop car, to the precinct, to the jail, to the bail hearing, back to the county jail, to the court proceedings, to the penitentiary, do the sentence, back home on probation and parole, then transition back into the community. I allow the reader to do all that without ever even going to prison. So it's a
They can do it sitting on their sofa.
They can do it sitting on their sofa. They can do it on their lunch break in their car. They can do it wherever, laying in the bed. It's an important book. You must get it. And I'm not just trying to sell the book. I'm trying to sell the message.
Yes.
It's important because this book is a deterrent. But anyway, that's enough about the book.
I think that this book, I haven't read it in its entirety, but I must say to you, Timeless, that this book should become a part of high school curriculum.
Oh, it is. That's what I'm going for.
It really should become a part of the high school curriculum.
Private prison curriculum.
So that
Halfway house curriculum.
Yes, so
This is what I'm
that
going for.
every
People are gonna buy it in
single
bulk.
young person in our school system will have an opportunity basically to go through everything you just said without leaving the comfort of home.
Without having to leave the comfort of home.
But yet they will have the knowledge of what prison is really all about.
And believe me, I give it up in this book. This is the real deal. And people who know me know I did 13 years, hard time. So this is the real deal. It's nothing fugazi in here. I've had people proofread it and it was chilling. It was a page turner. And yeah, it's real stuff. So I'm pitching it to my big homie. I'm pitching it to Jay-Z. Nipsey Hussle gave me an idea. He sold his mixtape for $100. Jay bought 1,000 copies. So from his first sale, he was a $100,000 heir, or however you say that. But everybody knows. I told y'all when I win big, I'm gonna give back, to the community.
Yes.
It's very important. I'm also pitching it, Big Sis. If you're listening, I'm pitching it to Oprah. You got a book club. I'll be coming your way.
Yes.
And shout out to Shelly Williams in Philadelphia. She's Philly Oprah. And then on the West Coast, I'm pitching it to Uncle Snoop. So I'll be coming all you guys' ways. And I'm expecting you to buy it in volume at a big number. So that way, in the community, I can almost give the book away. You know what I mean? I can almost sell it for the $5 to $10 to the people who might not have as much. But the price of the book is going to be $29.99 just for all y'all who need to know what it's going to be.
Brother, I'm thinking to myself, there are people who work with our school system in our legislative branch that may be able to pitch the idea to the school systems about incorporating this book as a part of the learning curve.
Absolutely.
It might be extracurricular learning or maybe under civics or something. It would be able to go under civics. But I think that would be a book that you definitely want to pitch to our legislators here in the state of Delaware.
Well, I got some sturdy people behind me, and you're one of them. So we'll figure it out. You know what I mean? We'll do our coffee and our donuts, and we'll wipe the donut crumbs off our mouth and get right to it.
We have our moments, but we love each other, and we work very well together.
You better bet it.
I carry my pocketbook. I love my pocketbook. It's small, but it goes with me exactly at the times that I need it.
And that's what you should do.
I love it. It's a red, black, and green pocketbook, and it's all about the Garvey energy. So I really appreciate that, brother.
I gave you the flag too, didn't I?
Yes, you did. You are my man.
The Timeless Company did record that inauguration when we became Garvey City. Yeah, I did, and you can check my page for that if you missed that. But we got to get going with Trump's and Biden's things. I still, even though Trump, did that, bull crap by, bailing the white guy out, they shot two protesters. And, like I said, if it was the first time it ever happened in history, we'd all be crying and stuff. It happens. We know they're going to support their own, take care of their own. They've been doing it. And, we're supposed to take care of our own. So it is what it is. However, I'm a Donald Trump supporter. Oh, and for those who are not educated, I will now educate you. If you want me to educate you.
Yes, give us the education. But I want to say one thing. So maybe you can combat this.
Ain't no question.
I am not a Trump supporter, but I'm not like totally super fond of all of the platforms of Biden and Kamala Harris. Like some of the things they say, I'm just don't agree with. But in the debate between Trump and Biden, he was asked about the white supremacist groups. He would not denounce the white supremacist group, aka KKK.
Who would not do that? Biden?
Trump would not denounce them.
Well, it's a reason for that. I mean, again, he's white. And also, he does need the vote of the KKK as well. I mean, they're a volume of people as well. So we're talking about votes here. But when we talk facts, now, before Trump was president, we liked him. He was in all the rap videos. He was in no, seriously. He even received awards from the NAACP. Now these are facts. This is stuff that you can look up. Trump was the dude at one time. Now, after he became president, then all this racist and stuff, all this crap, came to fruition. Trump is the one that said this here. He's the one that's pushing all the dirty politicians out of office. He has a slogan phrase. He says he's going to drain the swamp. And that was of all the dirty politicians that's in there that's trying to make this martial law. These people that are doing stuff, that are knocking without warrants and stuff, that are trying to force these vaccines and stuff. Trump is against this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, and watch this. Watch me bust your bubble with this one. Trump is the only president in American history that has not took a penny. He's using his own money. Every paycheck he's ever got, he's donated. So it ain't about nothing. He's already been a billionaire. He never needed it for that. He's the Trumpster. Now let's go with some facts.
The Trumpster.
Oh yeah. He's the Trumpster of the China Times Company. Now watch this. Now, unemployment since Trump's been president, it's at an all-time low. The economical structure in America is better than it's ever been.
But not since COVID, businesses are shutting down.
It's still better than it's ever been in history. It's a fact. Google it. Now watch this. He's making the country back into an importer versus us being an exporter, and that's with the wall. That's what the wall is all about. He's trying to get us the jobs. If you keep the other people out that don't belong here, we can get the jobs that's here. Now, again, you guys are blind. You can't see it. Everything's going viral. Everything's going in the sky. You don't know, but Amazon is planning on buying all these plazas up Merchandise Mart, up Governor Prince, if you're from Delaware and wherever else you're from that can hear us. When you see these plazas that are empty, when Sears closes down and you see these Kmart's closing down, it's for a reason. See? Yes. Because these people plan way, way, way in advance.
Oh, yes.
So
the pandemic was all about us being able to do the cyber school and cyberspace and Zooms and 5G tower. It's all a part of the plan. It's the pandemic.
So this is why he has to build the wall. They can't give it to you step by step as it goes. Now, mind you, again, everything I'm saying is fact. And this is why he's saying make America great again. So, now, prison reform. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Trump is with it. He's the one that created this, make all the prisoners with the less violent crimes and stuff, let them out.
Let them out.
This is Trump stuff.
Really?
So, yeah, this is Trump stuff. He's for the prison reform. He's with the movement. So this is what I'm trying to say. Now, watch this. Now, let's get goofy with why I'm a Trump supporter. He gave funding to historically black colleges for the next 10 years. So you guys got to do your math. See, what's happening is you're getting caught up by the media. You're getting caught up by these memes and people making him look like some type of demon, some type of... Nah, man, Trump is our boy. Again, stimulus. No other president, even... Let's just get real with that. Something small. Whoever even gave you money. I don't care if it was $1,200, $1,800. Whoever even did that. Like, Trump is that bull. So... use facts. Don't get swayed. Always remember, when something starts over here, they're really doing stuff over here. So don't get hoodwinked with the dum-dum.
Well, I definitely don't think that we should be focusing and believing every single word that proceeds from the mouth of mainstream media.
At all.
Remember, mainstream media gets paid and told what to report.
Sure.
Unlike people like myself and yourself who are podcasters, they call us the common guy, the little guy, but we're telling the truth. I told people, my listening audience, I said to them, coronavirus 2019 is not 2019. Coronavirus was since 2016 and maybe before then. And we heard President, Barack Obama. President Barack Obama stood up in a speech and said, if a pandemic were to ever come to this nation, we would want to be ready. And he went on to say some things. Now, why are you talking about a pandemic in 2016 and now it's 2019 and here it is? Or actually, they released it in January of 2020. So it's really the COVID-20.
Well,
but people thought I was just being a conspiracy theorist. Then you look on the back of the Lysol can.
And
the Lysol can says kills 99% of the coronavirus.
Now watch this. Historically, again, that's so small. We can just start with the beginning. Chickenpox. measles, SARS, Ebola virus. They've been giving us these things every other year. It's something that comes out. So now it's corona. You got to pay attention to what's really good and what's really not good. This is just one more thing. I guarantee you, next year it'll be something else.
These are scare tactics.
These are
world
population. These are world population scare tactics to get everybody to pay attention over here, so they can do something over here. Just like watching. Okay, now, right now, we're all looking at each other, FaceTime, and all this stuff. This was done. This was a pandemic from 50-something years ago. Remember when we were little and the Jetsons were doing it? Remember that?
Yes,
Remember when George was talking to Wilma on FaceTime? Remember that? We were in the 2nd grade, so they've been had these things drawn up. Elroy was coming home from school on his hoverboard. You can get one down at Walmart. I mean, come on, they've been had these things. The dog, what was the dog's name or whatever? He was a robot. Now they got little robots that can vacuum. So all their plans have been 50 years and more. They're generational planners.
The whole pandemic, and like you said, they want to have us so focused on
something over here
on us
so they can
dying of COVID-19, as they call it, that we're not focused on the 5G towers and the radiation that is emitted, and that they're going up in predominantly brown communities. Okay, they want to take our minds off of those things. They want to give us all the vaccination. Even now, I watch television occasionally and I see, get your flu shot, get your flu shot. What the hell is in the flu shot?
Right. And I'll tell you this, you would have to be a fool to get a shot of anything. Why would you let somebody inject something in you? You have to be a fool. Seriously. Now look at yourself and say, oh, you know what? I think I'll let the slave master shoot me up with something. You'd have to be a fool. So I just want to call you a fool if you got a flu shot. I don't care if it's my mom, grandma, cousin. You got a flu shot, you're a fool.
Because they're injecting you with the very thing they're allegedly trying to protect you from, hoping that your immune system, antibodies, is strong enough to fight it off. And what if you're not?
Right. But we don't have to even worry about that kind of stuff. They're killing us with foods and all kind of other toxins.
Water and so many other things.
It's just, we can't even fight that. I just say live your life and do your thing.
Well, I want to say to the listening audience that 85% of the reported deaths to date, and I did the Google search and the search yesterday, 85% of the death here in America have been people age 65 and over, or people that already had a low immunodeficiency disorder.
I can believe that. Yeah.
So, I mean, they're real. That's why I say it's world population control. They're killing off the sick and the elderly. If you're already healthy and you're well, you're going to be fine. But if you're sick or you're old, then you are at the highest risk. And they're doing that for another particular purpose.
Sure.
Killing off the sick and the elderly.
The big agenda on that. So
they don't have to pay for the health care and Social Security. But people think that I'm just a conspiracy theory. They won't listen to me.
That's one thing. And the big agenda is the fear of a black planet. They don't ever want us to get back in power when we were running things back in Egypt. They don't ever want us to get like that because we were already smart. We had built pyramids.
The Timbuktu.
Without a forklift. So, we've been intelligent. We've been dealing with aliens. They said, what? Alien? Oh, Area 51. They start kidnapping aliens. Then they'll give them to you in a movie. They'll say E.T. All their movies are about being up there. Star Wars and all that. They play up there. So, anywho.
Do you know to this day, it just is so crazy. To this day, they cannot figure out how mathematically perfect and correct the pyramids of Giza and other structures that have been built. They cannot figure out how is it that every block is exactly the way it's supposed to be, mathematically correct. And it only took them 8.5 minutes per brick, which was, of course, made out of mud. The mortar was made out of mud, straw, and they turned it into mortar. So, they still can't figure that out, and yet they allegedly have the answers to everything, and they call us the inferior race? They call us the inferior race, they're the superior race, but they can't figure out how our ancestors built the pyramids mathematically perfect and correct.
True. I think they know. They just don't want to tell us that they know. So that ain't,
The University of Timbuktu, we had master masons, astrologists, astronomers, you name it.
You're right.
It's only our children that have come up under the auspices of thinking that their journey, their history started with slavery in America. And that's so sad because they don't know they come from kings and queens and emperors and empresses. And so what do? They're running around here again, thinking that they are the inferior race, when in actuality it is the brown and black and golden people that are the superior race.
We are the kings and queens. We're the gods and goddesses. And it's like you were saying about the old folks out there killing them off and stuff for the Social Security reasons. And then they're also killing our young folks off by getting them to kill themselves off. Like you say, take the lack of, now they've been robbed of their culture, robbed of their language, robbed of their parents, robbed of their parents.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And then injected with pollution, processed foods, false doctrine, and then hand them a gun and give them a corner to play on. So
how about that?
So they're not even living to being 30. So the new drug dealer is the coroner.
The coroner?
Yeah, they're collecting bodies. They're getting money.
Are.
Them funeral homes are taken up. Seriously. I mean, shout out to Trippy, but I mean, them dudes are even running for office now. They're getting cocky.
Well, I love Trippy.
I love Trippy too. I'm not just saying him. I'm talking about all over the world.
Yes, but
the
those
funeral
people,
parlors all over the world.
You know what they actually are from a spiritual perspective? Every single person that works in the mortuary are considered spiritually, according to the religion of Ifa. They are the gatekeepers between earth and the dead.
I definitely
They're the
give
gatekeepers.
Them that shout
That's
out.
a very, very
Important
sacred
job.
position
It is.
Spiritually by God. Everybody can't go and take care of dead bodies. Like, that's hard to do.
I'm one of them that can. So you are exactly true. And that's why I said shout out to Trippy. I wasn't trying to shoot any darts.
Absolutely
I was
not,
just saying that the funeral parlor people are coming up because of so many people are killing themselves.
But it's our young people. White folks get depressed and they can't pay their credit card bill and they jump off bridges, hang themselves, blow their heads off. Here in our brown urban communities, unfortunately, like you said, they find ways to get guns to our children. Yeah. So that if they can annihilate our entire posterity, they think that will stop our people from being able to continue.
Expand. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they're trying to make us extinct. And they have this belief that they can do it. They made dinosaurs extinct. They made other races of breathing beings extinct. So they think that they can do that. So I doubt if they ever can, but that's their belief. They lock us up, they give us diseases, they shoot and kill us, they make us kill ourselves.
Put us in jail.
But anyway, so now without playing the pointing game, right? Without blaming anything or anybody, everything is what it is, right? So my thing is just to educate. I don't know, did I mention anything about my book? I did write a book. But right.
Yes.
But I do
TimeLess.
But now the same way I gave up facts about Trump, right?
Okay.
I want to kick Biden's butt now.
There's that book, 101 Things That You Should Know About Jail and probably prison and all of those other things.
You better bet it. Pay attention.
All right, so tell us more about your Trumpster that we...
No, now we're talking about Biden now.
On Biden.
You got to flip the coin. Flip the coin. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the lesser of two evils. But being known that our people, Black Wall Street, when we were at our best, okay, we were Republicans.
Yes.
So we need to know that.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know who hoodwinked us over the years and flipped us over to thinking that Democrats were for blacks. That is not correct. Now, if you don't believe...
Just more poison.
Let's say you don't believe. Let's say you're one of them dudes that say, nah, man, my grandma said we need to be Democrats. Let's say you're that guy. Ask yourself, right? Ask yourself, what has happened? What has happened in your life since you were a Democrat? What has happened?
Right.
How great has your life become since you were a Democrat?
Right.
Okay, now let's see what Biden done. For 47 years, what has Biden done? Well, he's been racist. He's been he continued with the incarceration bill.
Oh yeah, tough on crime.
He said this about black people. He said that black people could, go to school. Hold on. He said he didn't want his kids to go to school with jungle kids.
Right.
That's the first thing he said.
Right.
Now we need to understand that. That's deep.
I posted that, and a lot of the people that attend me on Facebook, do you know they almost ripped me a new ass because I said that. Well, what about forgiving him? That was 50 years ago. Because I am a firm believer that people can change.
They can.
But also, I believe that you are who you innately are.
Yeah, you really are. And just as he said, he also said this. He said, poor kids could be just as good as intelligent white kids. Like, he keeps saying these type of things.
Yeah.
Like, if he said it one time, that could be a whoopsie. Like, remember Roseanne Barr said nigger? Excuse me. Yeah, pardon. So
Whoopsie.
that was a whoopsie. But he keeps saying things.
Yes.
So you understand what I'm saying? So he doesn't have, and these are his facts. And that's it. I got a small page on him. In 47 years, he hasn't done anything but support the crime bill, disrespect black people, and did I say disrespect black people? Did I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's done for 47 years. He hasn't really done anything. He doesn't have anything. So I don't know why we need to vote for him on what basis.
Well, my thing with Biden, and as I've stated before, as a young journalist just starting out in my career, whenever I was in the audience and would raise my hand in a room full of journalists, he would always allow me to ask questions. He always gave me a one-on-one interview, and that's really big for a journalist, you know. So him and Tom Carper, I appreciated that as a professional. But in following his career, he has always been one who believed in the Nixon, Reagan, Clinton tougher on crime, which means more incarceration for our brown people.
Yes.
Okay, tougher crimes, and Kamala Harris isn't much better. She very much wants to be tougher on crime, you know, and so I'm not interested in making. I don't want to go backwards 100 years.
Tougher on crime is they're talking about our people. It's our
yes,
people
more
that they're
Jim
putting all this
Crow.
crime on.
Well, I told you in 1956, the entire Congress, there was 120 people in Congress, and 119 people agreed. I'm sorry, 109 people agreed to continue the Jim Crow laws. They put it in the books under the Christian Black Codes. Continue the Jim Crow laws for as long as there are black and brown people on this earth. Continue the Jim Crow laws. And anybody who's ever been able to read, they know what the Jim Crow laws mean.
Right. Now,
at least I hope they do.
Right. And if they don't, you better look it up, because we're about to go to our sister that got shot and killed.
Yes. Let's talk about Breonna Taylor.
We gotta go to Breonna.
Let's talk about her. God rest her soul. We love you, Bree Bree.
It's Breonna's turn. Now, I have a different position on this too. I know I'm gonna lose some fans, but I love Breonna and I love her family, and she definitely was murdered by the Blue Klux Klan. Okay. But we have Breonna Taylors and Brahim Taylors right here in our city.
George Floyd.
Right here in our families.
Tamir Rice.
We don't need the universal media hype big people that's in the media to get our point straight. We got nieces and nephews that got killed last night.
Yes.
This morning.
Yes.
2 days ago.
Yeah.
On these streets.
Yes.
In Wilmington. In Philly. In New York. And our neighbors in Baltimore. So we need to not say, you know, George Floyd's dead. Okay, let's get serious. Let's get serious because your nephew just got killed.
That's right.
Let's get serious because your son's locked up.
Yes.
We need to be serious. We don't even, with the condition our people are in, we ain't got no time to play. For real.
None.
If you got a video game in your house or something like that, a PlayStation or something like that, this will be a good time to thaw the fireplace. Winter is coming. We ain't got no time to play games, man. It's time to study. It's time to find out who you are. It's time to get in touch with the true and living God that lays inside of you. Because for years, you've been praying for food, clothing, and shelter. And you know you ain't received nothing but hunger, nakedness, and outdoors. Ain't no God coming up and saying, ain't no mystery God. God works through people. So get with the people who are godly.
That's right.
Get with the people who are righteous. Get with the people who are doing some things. If you're at the same place economically that you were last year and you're still praying to the same thing, come on. You don't need to have a degree from Harvard to understand. You gotta change. You want something different, you gotta do something different. So if you do
Say it again, brother.
If you want something different, you have to do something different. If you do what you always did, you'll get what you always got.
And here's what I want to say to the people that ripped me a new backside because I talked about Biden. And, you know, I just want to say study, pick up the books, do the study, learn, understand what it really means and what's going on. And maybe you can get into the bubble on my head and understand why I say certain things. When I talked about the 5G towers, when I talked about the vaccines and the flu shots and all of these things, I'm not coming from a place of ignorance.
Right.
It's just that I only have an hour, and
Right.
I
You're
have
trying
to
to get it
speak
all
quickly.
in.
I'm trying to get it
Right.
all in,
Right.
and hopefully people will take what I say and do the research rather than rip me a new headshot.
Right.
Okay, do the research and find out how accurate is this news report? How accurate is this journalist, this advocate, this activist, this mother?
Right.
Okay, because it never affected me until it happened to my son. And that's what it took for me to get up off of my ass and become proactive as an activist and an advocate. And now I feel 2.5 years later, sure, I've made sacrifices. I'm walking. My car is not even available to me because of my financial situation. I've had to pick up a second job. So the point I'm making is that if you believe in being an active advocate and you want to make difference and change and reform in our justice system, then join me. I'm not a lot of BS. I'm for real.
Right.
Like, help me.
For sure.
Help me to help your children.
For sure.
Because
For
everything
sure.
that I'm doing, yes, I want to help my son to have a better quality of life while he's behind bars.
That's right.
I absolutely do. But this doesn't just affect my son. It affects
all.
your son, your
Yep.
husband,
Yep.
Your brother, your wife.
Our kids that aren't even
Whoever,
born yet,
that aren't even born yet.
that are going to be born in the same system. You
So
understand?
get behind me, get with me, stand beside me as my comrade, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
tired of asking people
Yeah.
to join the movement.
Yeah.
Like,
And-
I am the movement.
Yeah.
I am the movement.
Yeah.
And you know what really pisses me off?
Talk to me.
I started my movement 2.5, 3 years ago. I'm about 3 years in now. 3 and some change. Do you know every time I turn around, there's some other movement? Join
Yeah,
this movement,
right,
the TV
right.
movement.
So
Wait a minute, I
cliche.
started that.
Right. So
And I'm
cliche.
copywritten. So,
Right.
you know.
And then if you guys aren't doing nothing, I mean, it really is about unity. It's about putting your resources together. Now, let's say you have a personal vendetta or a personal thing, then at least donate something. You know what I mean? You don't have to always be in somebody's circumference. Let's talk about that 5G thing for a minute. The radiation thing, because we can all remember people who are our age know that our grandparents lived to be like 106 and stuff
Right.
like that. And now, like you say, they're living to be 60, 70, maybe 80,
70.
90 at the most.
At the
My
most.
pop's a tough 89. He's kind of strong. But listen, everything is radiation. If you think for 1 minute that you're putting that cell phone up to your ear making a call, right, and everything's magic, it's not. It's more radiation in one phone call than in a whole microwave dinner. So understand, we're all going to get, and it's going to happen to you. So don't even worry about that kind of stuff. So, you know what I mean?
And I would like to share.
We can't get away from radiation, but go ahead.
When we're going to make a phone call on our cellular devices, I've got the criminal reform page pulled up, but when we're going to make calls on our cell phone, do not put it up to your ear. Put it on the speaker and just speak through the mic.
There you go.
This way you get less radiation into your own
There you
body
go.
and your own frequency. Don't put it up to your ear.
There you go.
Just speak out of the microphone. You have it on your cellular device.
Good advice.
So,
That's good
you know,
advice.
I've been doing it for years. I almost never put it up to my ear. Or
That's
I
good
use my
information.
headphones.
That's good information right
It
there.
is good information.
It's actually life-saving information. That could be the difference between 5 or 10 extra years on your life. You know what I mean? Over a period of time. You know.
But everyone seems, not everyone, but too many people, I guess, I feel like so many people think, oh, she's just ranting and raving, you know, she's a mom and whatever. She doesn't know anything. She's just dumb as dirt. Well, I want you to know dirt is a part of earth and it was here long before you were, and it's very intelligent.
And I want y'all to know that we're not claiming to be the greatest people in the world. We're just claiming to be people who are doing something.
Yes.
So, you know what I mean? If you're not doing nothing, don't critique, don't criticize.
Right.
We're not doing nothing.
Stand for something or sit down and shut up.
Yeah, or that thing. If you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. Or you just sit down and shut up.
Sit down and shut up.
Listen, stand for something or just go buy my book.
Go buy the book.
And this will learn you. I promise you, this will learn you. You know anybody who follows me, sometimes I say, you'll learn today. You will learn today.
Yes.
You read this, you will learn today. Trust what I tell you. So like I say, we're open for suggestions. Leave an inbox, leave a comment. Support something, man.
Well, you know, this is my very second podcast.
Okay.
Okay. The first one I did, I talked about judges' accountability, and I really went in pretty deep, you know,
Okay.
pretty heavy on that one. And this one is a little bit more free flow of information, just like between you and I. But I want to say that we are podcasting all over the world right now.
Absolutely.
So you're listening to Rachelle Wilson, Make Some Intelligent Noise. And the Political Power Hour is a subsidiary of Make Some Intelligent Noise. I am broadcasting from the studios of WHGE 95.3 FM, as well as Facebook, but you can also find me on Instagram. All of my YouTube videos are now up and on, and so you can watch and look at the archives of what I've done over the years. But definitely to my podcast listening audience, I want to say thank you for listening to today's show. And I promise you one thing for certain and two things for sure. Whenever you tune in to Rachelle Wilson, you're going to get an earful. Whether you love me or hate me or love to hate me, it will be an earful.
That's right. Let me give a shout out or two. I got time?
Yes.
Let me give a shout out to McKee Booker. He's a vicious activist in the community. I'd like to shout out my bro CEO, brother K.O. Michael Bartley. He's doing big things in the community. Coley Harris, he's doing big things in the community. Jay Renee, Sister Jay Renee, she's real impactful.
Yes.
And anybody else that I left out, it's not personal, because I know a bunch of people. I can shout out my bro Dooley, Prada. I mean, I know a lot of people.
Let's say something to Yaga, Dundada.
Absolutely.
To Vic Cooper, what's up?
That's my role model.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's so many people, man. I got love for everybody. Oh,
right.
Chris Foreman, you know what I mean? He's real active in my career.
So I want to talk real quick. I just want to say, I'm not going to go into any particular names, but, about 2 years ago, I hired an attorney to help me help my son with some paperwork and some other things like that in order to
Solo 5300, I'm sorry.
Oh, Solo 5300. Yeah, we got to say, what's up? What's up, Solo?
Solo.
And so 2 years ago, I hired this attorney. He asked for $3,000 of a retaining fee. We gave him, my auntie and I, on behalf of my son, gave the lawyer the retainer's fee. And in the midst of him doing nothing, Justin and I, pretty much, we did all the work ourselves. So we're like, you know what? Kick rocks. Give us back 25 of our $3,000. Give us back the $2,500. Keep 5 just for your trouble in your name. And give us our $2,500 back so we can go, and if we need to, get another attorney to help us with the paperwork.
Right.
Which, as I've stated, we are now almost attorneys ourselves, and we can do the paperwork ourselves. So we don't really need these attorneys. Well, that attorney actually responded to me so nasty and so negatively, and then gave a $300 check to my aunt saying this is all that you are entitled to. Now, the auntie is the power of attorney, and he returned her $300 out of $3,000. And I do not understand what is wrong with American attorneys today. Well, this guy called himself our family. He's our brother.
Let me explain to you what's up with him. He's a bloodsucker.
Pretty much.
People are bloodsuckers. You know what I mean? People are money hungry. People are money greedy. So it is what it is.
And you know what? To be honest,
he is in the long run on the other side of the coin. You know what I mean? Life has this thing called karma.
Karma.
You can't escape it.
That's right.
The Indians call it that. In the Bible, I think it says, you reap what you sow?
You reap what you sow.
Some people say, what goes around comes around. I mean, they'll get it back. So that's how that works. It's a universal law. It's a principle. It's
just unfortunate that we recently, by a very slim margin, he was voted into the 7th District as City Council. Chris Johnson voted into City Council for 7th District, and he was my son's attorney, and he is a completely debaucherous attorney. He has not been forthright. He has not been transparent. I am so disappointed.
What's his name again?
Christopher Johnson. He ran a few years ago to try to become the Attorney General for the state of Delaware, and he blew that. And so somehow some things took place. It's a long story, but he ended up on City Council, whatever. And this year he actually was voted in, and he won only by 3 points.
Right.
By 3 points, he won to City Council. And I am not happy. I'm not feeling him.
Let me tell you somebody I'm not feeling.
I'm not feeling him. But I don't plan to let him go with $300. He's going to take my son's money and just call that a day. No, you're going to give my son his money back, or we're going to have to deal with each other lawfully.
That's right. Yeah, that's how you do it. The same way they want to do it. Take it to the pen and paper. Everybody knows I support my father the best I can. He's in Manor Care on Falk Road. I really don't appreciate how they're kind of treating him in some kind of ways. They're kind of losing his property a little bit too much, and they're not really following through with the things that they said they would do. So I might have to form a little rally or something up there. I'm just giving everybody a heads up.
Yeah, at Falkland, where is it?
Manor Care on Falk Road. Yeah.
Manor Care on Falk
They're
Road.
a really funky bunch of people in the administration department.
Yes.
The staff is okay. They're regular people.
Yeah,
but
staff is
yeah,
good.
as far as administratively, they're a bunch of people that really feel themselves. And I'm trying to tell them, look here, these are, these are our people's last days.
That's right.
You know what I mean? We don't got no time to play games in the administration department. If you say you're going to do it, we expect you to do it. So.
Well, that's one of the good things I love about the autonomy of being the type of advocate and journalist that I am, is that I really don't need to answer to anyone in particular about my commentaries and my news broadcasts, as long as I'm telling the truth. Now, if I'm lying or being dishonest, then yes, I should be called on that. But as long as I'm telling the truth, I have a right, a constitutional right to tell the truth.
It's the First Amendment.
It's the First Amendment. So that's the one thing you can always rest assured and be secure with Rachelle Wilson.
Me too.
I'm going to tell you the truth. And Big D, TimeLess Thomas, we're going to tell you the
Truth
truth.
is infinite.
And lies have karmic value. And so, it's what goes around comes around.
Absolutely.
What goes around comes around.
How much more time we got, Rob?
Actually, we have about 5 minutes and we need to close out. So close out with something good.
All right. Well, I'm not sure if I told anybody about my book. I got a book coming out, 101 Things You Should Know About Jail. It's published on Ware Publishing. A lot of the promo work is done by Solo 5300. Solo's my man. Me and him just cut into each other real heavy. He got some good stuff going on, man. Solo, man, he don't want you to go to jail either, man. He got a lot of good stuff going on. So,
I first met him, I was looking at him on Facebook, and I see this guy behind these what looked like real bars, but it was a set design. But it looked so real. Instant message, I was like, how are you incarcerated and you're on Facebook? Like, how do you do that?
He's
only to find
too.
that he's an activist. So I haven't had the good fortune yet of actually shaking hands with 5300 Solo. I call him Solo. But I definitely plan on doing that as time moves forward. Yes, Nosa Roma and Pat Gibbs, who's one of the journalists here. Now, if you want to talk about keeping it real, oh my God, Pat Gibbs Patrice Gibbs from WHGE 95.3. He is a firehouse of truth. He does not care about who likes it, who doesn't like it. He is not here to make friends. He is simply to tell you the truth.
Let me shout out my sister T Sweets. What's up, though, sis?
Peace and grace to everyone within the sound of our voice. So it is now, what time do we have? I think we are at the last moment. So let's say something to the people. And as we move forward with the rest of our day, I want to say thank you for listening to WHGE. Thank you for listening to Rachelle Wilson. When I first started here, there was a 32% listening audience. And since I've been here, it is now a 67% listening audience since I've been here with Make Some Intelligent Noise and the Political Power Hour. Thank you for being with me today. TimeLess Thomas, I love you.
Love you too, sis. Real rap.
Real rap. Yeah, real. Anything, your book, 101 Things You Should Know About Jail by TimeLess Thomas. I want you to make sure that you show him some love with that. To my podcasting audience, thank you for chiming in, and we will definitely be back with you same time next week. All right, you're listening to Rachelle Wilson. Thank you so much. God bless you. Remember, karma is real. So be good to other people and be good to yourselves.
Peace.
Peace and grace. All right. I'm not sure what happened to the music, but I'm so positive.